Friday Night Football, Channel 41.
'41's Friday Night Football is brought to you by Old Kent Bank, Common Sense, Uncommon Service, by Fox's Jewelry Stores, your direct diamond importer, by the Shearing Insurance Agency for all your insurance needs, and by the Sports Injury Rehabilitation Network. Now, the best team in sports medicine plays right here at home.
It is a crisp, very cool fall evening. Perfect night for football, and what a great game this evening. The powerful Three Rivers Wildcats invading arch rival Comstock. Good evening, Mark Crawford, along with Bill Brandell. You've got 41's Friday Night Football.
Mark, Three Rivers comes in tonight undefeated and ranked number 6 in the Class B ranks. They're facing another proud tradition in football, the Comstock Colts. The Colts, I think, are a little better than their 2-5 record might indicate, but they're going to have to play an inspired football game against the Wildcats.
We'll tee it up and bang helmets. Three Rivers and Comstock coming at you. Mark Crawford, Bill Brandell back with you at Comstock. Three Rivers and the Colts of Comstock going at it. Let's check with Larry Filter, our referee, for the coin toss.
See? I'll go with them like this. Okay, we got white. Receiving this end. Okay, the rest of the referees, bag judge Terry Greenfield. Head linesman is Fred Reed, Todd Gearhart, and Craig Guy. Craig, got any questions? Okay, play shake hands. Have a good game, guys.
Okay, the Wildcats of Three Rivers win the toss. They opt to receive the football to start the game. Three Rivers comes in 5-0 on their season, 4-0 in the Wolverine Conference. The Colts of Comstock are 2-3, 2-2 in the Wolverine. And Bill Brandell, that graphic tells you just what kind of football program these two are.
Well, that Three Rivers is, that statistic there is obviously great. They're undefeated for 2.5 seasons in a row here as far as regular season is concerned. That's just great. And Comstock, no slouch either, Mark. 17-6 over the last 3 seasons.
And those three of those 6 Comstock losses have come this year by 1 point in double overtime, by 8 points, and by 12. So, bit of a tough luck season for Comstock. It's a cold, nippy kind of a fall evening. Temperatures will dip down to 40 degrees and perhaps below, and that's cut down on the crowd just a little bit here at Comstock. But we have a feeling we're going to see a great football game. And the uniforms blue trimmed in white, the Colts of Comstock, and the visitors from Three Rivers in their white and purple. Deep to receive for Three Rivers. You saw number 24, Greg Booth, 5'8", 165 pounds, a senior speedster, runs a 4.6 40, and barring injury, will very easily have a 1,000-yard season. He's gained 775 yards in the backfield already this year in just 5 football games. Ted McGovern will boot it away for Comstock. And we are underway. Brown takes it at about his own 10 and winds his way out across the 25 to about the 27-yard line. Stopped there by Comstock's number 75, Tony Perez. And it'll be 1st and 10 for the Wildcats. Your quarterback is Ryan Cottingham, number 9, 6 foot, 165 pounds, and a junior operating out of the backfield. Greg Booth and Ryan Roberts.
Well, we're looking for a very active Colt defense tonight, Mark. We expect a lot of stunning. They like to be aggressive up front. They play with 3 linebackers. They can do a lot of different things with that setup.
Spinning away and perhaps going for 6 on the first play is Greg Booth. 73 yards on the first play from scrimmage. Greg Booth sets Three Rivers up 6-0.
Well, Booth popped through the offensive line. He was on the offensive right over the guard tackle area. The Colts were in a stunt situation, just as we had mentioned. They were in about a 4-3 setup, 3 linebackers in there, and they were sending everybody, looking to break up that play before it really got started. They wanted to get some penetration and get into the offensive backfield. This time it went for naught, as you'll see Greg Booth take that ball and pop right by everybody, and now he's just gone. There's nobody left.
Jeff Norton is on for the extra point try. The kick is up. Sails through the middle of the uprights. And it takes only some 22 seconds for the Wildcats of Three Rivers to break out 7-0. Bill Brandell along with Mark Crawford back in Comstock, Michigan, Colt Field, 7-0. You see our score, Three Rivers on top. We've played just 22 seconds as lightning strikes in the form of a Greg Booth 73-yard touchdown run. And the Comstock Colts are going to be tested here very early.
Well, that was a shocker. That one hit so fast, Mark, you and I hadn't even got our seats warm here as people are just settling in, and Greg Booth pops it through. Boy, you better get here on time with these Wildcats from Three Rivers.
Norton boots it away for Three Rivers, fielded at about the 15-yard line. Steve Davidson carries the football out across the 30 to near the 35. Good field position. Comstock will start 1st and 10. Troy Stanton is your starting quarterback, 5'10", 175 pounds, and a senior. And in the backfield behind him, the speed burner is Terrence Jackson, number 32, along with Brian Culver, number 21, a 5'8", 160-pound junior. Terrence Jackson, number 32, back after a sprained ankle that's kept him out of a good number of football games. And that is Jackson into the line and going nowhere at all. Stopped by Three Rivers number 45, Pat Dane. It will be marked, in fact, as a loss of a yard. Make it 2nd down and 11 facing Comstock. Two clubs that can throw the football. And I have a feeling, Bill Brandell, the Colts are going to have to.
Well, they are going up a little bit of a superior force here as far as the Three Rivers defense is concerned, limiting their opponents to just about 7 points a game so far.
Pro set behind Stanton. He's back to throw. Chased out of the pocket, fires it over the middle, and open is Rob Mason. And Mason very near the 1st down sticks. It'll depend on the mark. All by himself in the seam.
Well, Troy Stanton really doing a good job that time of finding his receiver, Rob Mason. Stanton goes back, as you'll see, and gets chased out of that pocket. He's running for his life, but spots his receiver. Mason able to catch the ball and get a few more yards on his own before he's brought down.
Larry Filter, our referee, says that'll be 1st down yardage, 1st and 10 for the Colts of Comstock. We've played just about 2 minutes of football here, Three Rivers and Comstock on 41's Friday Night Football. Left side into the backfield is Davidson. And he'll ramble forward for about 18, 20 yards down into Three Rivers territory. They'll mark it down at the 40 of the Wildcats, and Comstock is answering.
Well, a little straight-ahead play that time. Steve Davidson taking the handoff from Troy Stanton that time. Right over his left side guard tackle area. He popped through the line of scrimmage, made good yardage before he was into the secondary and then brought down.
So Comstock has put together a couple of 1st downs here. It'll be 1st and 10 at the Three Rivers 40. Long count by Stanton. Into the pile, and there's nothing there at all. I think that was Brian Culver. And Culver stopped, I believe, by Tom Losey, number 35. No gain. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Next Friday night KVA contest for you, Matawan at Paw Paw.
Culver last time running right into the strength of that defense. Once again, it's an active up-front defense. He ran right into the teeth of it.
2nd and 10, the option pitch. And Culver has it down near the 1st down marker again. Looks like he does have the yardage for 1st down. Mark it at the 30 of Three Rivers. Aaron Cullifer made the stop there. But Comstock has run together 3 straight 1st downs, answering the big touchdown play for Three Rivers.
Well, Troy Stanton running that Houston Beer option right there, and that was the last part of it as he pitched the ball to Brian Culver, who got it outside, made some good yards, got enough for the 1st down.
First and 10 Colts. Wide outs to both sides, that same pro set. Football is loose on the ground, and let's see. Three Rivers will recover. Coming up with the football is number 61, Aaron Cullifer, 6'1", 210-pound senior. And over on the far sides, I can see a happy birthday Aaron Cullifer sign. So he's celebrating in the right way.
Well, that's the dangerous part of that Houston Beer offense, that option play, is this time Troy Stanton going the opposite direction, tries to pitch it back there to Jackson, and the pitch was just a little bit behind him. Ball was not caught, and the fumble is recovered by Three Rivers.
Wildcats go on the offense, first and 10. Second back, hit in the backfield. I think that was probably Booth. And he's going to lose some yardage. Mark him back at about the 31. Loss of 1. It'll be second down 11. The stop by Jason Dalton, the 5'6", 145-pound linebacker, the diminutive one.
Well, he was right where he belonged that time. He doesn't look very diminutive. If you look at him down there on the field, he's only 5'6" and 145 pounds as far as the program is stating here, but he looks like a pretty solid young man to me, Mark.
Got big shoulder pads, maybe.
Got him padded up, maybe.
8:15 still to play first quarter. You've got 41's Friday Night Football. 7-0 is our score. Three Rivers out front. 73-yard touchdown run on the first play from scrimmage for Greg Booth. Second down long 11 here. Ryan Cottingham, number 9, the junior quarterback, brings him up. Wide open is Sam Brown. And Brown winds his way down into Comstock Colt territory, down to the 49. Good gainer of about 16 yards. And it'll be first and 10 for Three Rivers. They have a lot of weapons on this Wildcat team.
They sure do. Mark, you mentioned already that both teams could pass. That time it's Ryan Cottingham hitting Sam Brown. And this is just a straight rollout pass. There you see Cottingham delivering the ball, and Brown's just wide open on the sideline, and he's dangerous, Mark, when he gets out there by himself with the ball.
Sam Brown runs a 9.800, has scored 8 touchdowns this year, at least 1 in every football game. There's Booth. Has 5 or 6 yards down inside the 45 of Comstock. It'll be second down and let's call it 4, facing Three Rivers. Scott Shaw in his 3rd season as the head football coach at Three Rivers. Record is 23-2. Bruce Bendix in his 3rd year at Comstock. Record of 17-6. 2 very successful football coaches who are building good programs.
You're too tight. Your defense is bad.
Second down 4. Cottingham to Booth again, and Booth close to the first down, driven out of bounds. Boy, he's an elusive little runner, 5'8", 165 pounds. Hard to bring down.
Well, that time he made an excellent little stutter step and a sideways move, Mark, to get himself free. Got through the line of scrimmage and then was right in the face of one of the linebackers for the Colts, but he was able to do that sidestep and move the ball right on up, good for the first down.
First and 10, Three Rivers. Reminds me a little bit of Perry Foster from Catholic Central last year. The sneaky move. There he goes again.
Now, Perry Foster quite a bit bigger than Greg Booth.
Yeah, Perry went, what, 6 foot, about 190?
About 190, right.
Yep. Gain of about 5 on that carry for Greg Booth. Brought down by Comstock's Rob Mason, number 80. These teams do have a couple of common opponents, and if you want to believe the common opponents, Three Rivers a good deal better. They've beaten both Plainwell and South Haven. Comstock lost to both of those clubs. Well, you heard from the sidelines a shout that somebody moved. And we're guessing we'll see some yards marked off against the Wildcats of Three Rivers.
Keep watching me, all right?
Wildcats, as Bill's already mentioned, 9-0 and 9-0 the past 2 seasons, 5-0 this year. They've been in the playoffs, both 86 and 87. Lost in the first round to South Christian, 22-13 back in 86, and South made it all the way to the finals. And then to St. Joe in 87, 10-7.
Well, they've come up against some pretty tough opponents in those playoffs. Boy, they've had some excellent seasons.
Well, you saw the call, offside. Somebody stepped into the neutral zone for Three Rivers. And it'll now be second down and 11. Ryan Cottingham with the I formation behind him. Wants to throw. Little quarterback draw, and he's wrestled down by number 51, Jason Dalton.
And once again, those stunning linebackers for the Colts. Dalton and John Lee up there in the middle. Panagator out at the other side. There's 3 of them up in there. And they are very active. And this time you'll see the penetration. And the quarterback has no time at all. Looked like he had changed his mind and maybe was starting back up on a quarterback draw, Mark, but there was no room up there in the middle.
It'll be 3rd down and 14 now, facing Three Rivers. Draw play to Booth. Booth breaks one tackle in the open field and fights forward for about 10, 11 yards. Going to be short of the first down. It'll be 4th down, and let's see if for Scott Shaw, this is 4-down territory. Going to be 4th, and we'll call it about 3. Football down at the 31, 32-yard line of Comstock. It's 7-0. Three Rivers is on top. They scored on their first play from scrimmage. 73-yard touchdown run by Greg Booth. They'll go. 4th down, long 3, short 4. Take your pick. Look for Booth. Cottingham will throw. Out in the flats towards Sam Brown. Can't get it. Good defensive play there by Comstock's Mark Harper, who made sure that Sam Brown wasn't standing when that football flew by. It'll be 4th down. It'll be 1st down, I'm sorry, for Comstock as the football goes over on downs. Our score is 7-0, 5:20. Still to play, first quarter. Comstock on 1st down, option right. Keeper this time by Stanton has 10+ yards. Looks like 1st down yardage for Troy Stanton.
Well, Troy Stanton, once again, that Houston Beer, the option coming our way, Mark. That's the offensive right side, and a couple of times now they've had success to the right side. Remember, they tried to turn that around on their last possession and run the option to the left. Had an errant pass there on the pitch play, and Three Rivers recovered.
This is Comstock's 2nd possession, and you're right, they marched it up the field first time, just made a mistake. There's the big guy, Terrence Jackson. Boy, he's a load. Has about 12 or 13 more. Down into Three Rivers territory, down to the 45, where it'll be 1st and 10. And, Bill, you have to believe Comstock gaining a little confidence out here.
Well, they're moving the ball very well, as you said, Mark. Just the turnover stopped them the last time they had it. That time it was a halfback delay or a halfback draw situation with Stanton taking the ball back as though he were going to pass and then laying it right in the belly of Terrence Jackson, who popped through the line, made a good gainer out of it.
Well, Scott Shaw and the Three Rivers coaching staff don't like what they're seeing out on the field, and they'll go out and talk to the defense. You don't see a lot of timeouts called by the defense.
Well, especially this early in the ball game. But I think both times that Comstock has had the ball, Mark, they have moved it very well. And Coach Scott Shaw is going to keep the ball in good field position here if he can. He's not going to let him take it all the way down before he tries to make an adjustment with his defense. He'd like to put the stoppers on him right here at about the 46-yard line.
Well, it gives us a chance to tell you that Major League Baseball's playoffs continue here on 41 this weekend, noon on Saturday. We'll see the National League. That'll be followed by, who is it, Indiana, Ohio State?
Right.
In Big Ten football, and then 8 p.m. here on 41 tomorrow evening, the American League playoffs. Well, the coaches have abandoned the field. It is 1st and 10 for Comstock. Football at the 46 of Three Rivers. Stanton with the pro set behind him. Terrence Jackson and Steve Davidson this time. Terrence Jackson right into the line, doesn't find anything at all. Hit very quickly there. Ryan Eggleston, number 50. And number 61, Aaron Cullifer on the stop for the Wildcats. It'll be maybe a foot picked up. It'll be 2nd down and still a very long 9.
Aaron Cullifer, the 6'1", 210-pound senior, Mark. We've been calling that name quite a few times already tonight.
Been a busy gentleman. 2nd down, 9 for Comstock. Stanton to throw. Fires it across the middle, complete. Nice catch by Mark Harper. And Harper has the first down yardage inside the 35, down to the 33. Gain of 13 on the play. It'll be 1st and 10 Comstock.
Well, Troy Stanton delivers the ball here just on a rope. And you can see the good hands here by Harper as he had to go up a little bit for it, right within his grasp, but right out in front where the ball belonged and right into his hands. Great pass, good catch.
1st and 10 for Comstock. The Colts are moving. They trail Three Rivers 7-0. Left side, the dive play. I think Steve Davidson on the carry has it down near the 30-yard line. Gain of about 3. It'll be 2nd down 7. 6 first downs in this football game already for Comstock. 3:42 still to play first quarter. Stop that time for Three Rivers by Troy Best and Chip Wise. Shaping up to be a good football game.
A lot of offense so far.
Stanton out in the flats. It's complete to Harper. He's driven out of bounds after a gain of about 4. He's near the 25-yard line. The first down sticks are down at about the 23, so it'll be 3rd, and we'll say probably about 3 facing Comstock. Stopped that time by Sam Brown. Going both ways for Three Rivers. Boy, we got a lot of good basketball players out here on the field tonight. Mark Harper from Comstock, Sam Brown, and Ryan Cottingham from Three Rivers. Folks we saw last year. 3rd down. Launched over the middle, intercepted. The interception by number 35, Tom Losey, still going. It's a foot race. And Tom Losey will take it some 75-plus yards on the interception. Touchdown. Three Rivers out front, 13-0.
Well, you say lightning never strikes twice, but all of a sudden it has here for Three Rivers. And they have put another 6 points on the board. Tom Losey, 5'10", 170-pound senior, going to take the tip ball and come around the corner here. And as you described, Mark, just a foot race now, and there's nobody going to catch him. I think he smells the end zone right there. He's going to get his 6.
78 yards on the interception by Tom Losey. And the Wildcats will boot the extra point, try and jump out 14-0. Right down the middle between the pipes. And you are right, lightning strikes quickly. Three Rivers out front, 14-0.
Well, a little disheartening for the Colts, Mark, is actually they have played some good offensive football. And they have actually, as, you know, if you look at time of possession and number of plays and that type of thing, they've done a good job with the ball. And you sure wouldn't know that if you looked at the scoreboard here. They're 14 points down still here in the first quarter.
Well, you had a look there up at the press facilities here at Colt Field. Our thanks to Jay Stickle for making us welcome here, as he always does. Gave you another Comstock Colt pin. Some free concessions from the concession stand. You're about as comfortable as you can get.
Oh, I tell you, they treat you right here. I got a whole collection of those Comstock pins. Got a T-shirt. I tell you, I could become a fan here real quick.
Wildcats will boot it away. They lead 14-0 on a couple of big plays. You and I talked about big plays driving over to the ball game tonight. I told you I thought the key for Comstock would be to stop those big plays.
Well, as of right now, you're right. But the big play, that first play that the Wildcats scored on was not what you would describe as a big play type of play, Mark. It was just a straight hitter that popped loose.
Davidson on the return for Comstock has it out to about the 30, maybe 31-yard line, and the Colts will start 1st and 10 right there. Comstock's had the ball twice. They've not had to punt. They've been stopped once by a fumble after 3 first downs. The second time, stopped by an interception after 3 first downs. Bruce Bendix and company know they can move the football. They're just digging a hole for themselves with turnovers.
Well, Troy Stanton has done an excellent job of running this veer offense and throwing the ball. A lot of deception there and a lot of different weapons on that offensive set.
Stanton runs the pitch play this time. Davidson can't elude the tackler, is brought down in the backfield for a loss of 3.
Steve Davidson, the ball carrier, brought down in there.
Stopped that time by Frank Velasquez, number 6. It'll be 2nd down. We'll call it 13. Still 2:20 to play first period. You've got 41's Friday Night Sports. Comstock and Three Rivers, and the Wildcats right now on top 14-0. First quarter has been a good one for Three Rivers all year long. They've now outscored their opponents 49-7 in the first period. Stanton to throw, fires it over the middle. It's complete. Ted McGovern, big number 82, gathers it in, takes it forward, gain of about 10. It'll be third down and about 3 to stop. That time by 3 or 4 different white jerseys.
Troy Stanton hitting Ted McGovern, and I'm impressed with the way Stanton delivers the ball, Mark. He seems to have a good touch. He can throw it soft when his man is open and got a little time, and he can burn it just like he did on that one to Ted McGovern.
Stanton on the out pattern, incomplete. Mark Harper hadn't quite made his cut when Stanton delivered the football. It'll be fourth down, and Comstock will likely punt. Standing in punt formation is Mark Harper, number 84, back at his own 25. And let's warn you that Sam Brown, deep for Three Rivers, already has 160-plus yard punt return this year. Oh, nice punt by Harper. Brown just has to watch it go out of bounds at about the 25.
Sam Brown will not return that one, as you said, Mark. That was an excellent punt, as not only was it high, it was long, and it went out of bounds at just about the maximum distance that it could get. An excellent punt.
Next Friday night, KVA contest for you. Mattawan is at Paw Paw. The 21st, we will have St. Joe at Portage Central. Big ball game in the Big 8. First and 10 for Three Rivers. Ryan Cottingham, the pitch play to Booth. And Booth bouncing off tacklers out to about the 45. Boy, is he a nifty runner.
Well, we saw a little hurdle action that time. We saw some moves, some speed, and some hurdling as he just went right by everybody that time. Greg Booth will take the pitch here, and he cuts it back off tackle. And you can see that he went over one man, around one man, and through one man.
Well, I'm sure Greg Booth has his century mark game already. He's been across 104 of the 5 Three Rivers games. First and 10, Wildcats. Booth again. This time the Colts are waiting for him. First in the backfield that time, I think, was Terrence Jackson, number 32, from his end position.
Well, I think that's what you have to do, Mark. Get him in his offensive backfield before he gets any steam. That time he was running east and west instead of north and south, and that's the time to get him. Boy, is he quick.
I'll tell you, if I'm a defensive player, I don't want any part of him in the open field.
Come on, defense, get him!
Booth, 8 carries, 116 yards on his evening already. Brown is in motion, flags fly, and perhaps a little too much time. Delay of game will be called against Three Rivers, and instead of 2nd and 12, make it 2nd down 17. Just 8 ticks remain on the clock. First quarter here from Colt Field in Comstock. Three Rivers out front 14-0 on a couple of big plays. 73-yard touchdown run by Greg Booth. 78-yard interception return by Tom Losey. Norton kicks both extra points. That's where we stand, 14-0. Probably the last play of our first quarter. I formation behind Ryan Cottingham. Keep it, and Cottingham ridden out of bounds. Time has expired. Ted McGovern has the stop, and we'll send you back to the studio. Do a little business. 14-0. Three Rivers on top. You've got Friday Night Football here on 41. Second quarter about to get underway. Three Rivers on top by a couple of touchdowns. And the Wildcats have the football. Third down at about 12. Cottingham rolling, firing toward Brown. It's knocked down. It'll be fourth down, and the Wildcats will have to punt back to Comstock.
Well, this is the second fourth down situation that we've seen the Wildcats get themselves into. Comstock's defense really doing a pretty good job, Mark, other than that first offensive play that the Wildcats ran that ended up in a 6-point long run. Comstock's played some good football here. Boy, you look at the scoreboard, you just don't believe that, but they really have.
Chip Wise punting.
Chip Wise is standing in punt formation for Three Rivers. This one will bounce at about the 35 and do about a 20-yard roll for the Wildcats inside the 20 all the way down to the 18-yard line, down to there by Chris Hevelin, number 89. And it'll be 1st and 10 for Comstock, started back at their own 18. The Colts have moved the football when they've had it. Turnovers have been the story of this football game. Comstock has ruined a couple of very impressive drives, once with a fumble, once with an interception. Got a full booth here at Comstock tonight. Paul Gilbert's here with WLKM, broadcasting back to Three Rivers. Robin Hook is up here with WKMI. Home run ball is complete out near midfield and busting away from a tackler, and heading down the sidelines is Mark Harper.
Well, you're not going to catch Mark Harper, not when he made a move like that. Excellent pass that time. Troy Stanton to Mark Harper. 81 yards covered on that play, and we got a little more lightning mark striking out here. And this time it's on the other side of the field as the Comstock Colts get themselves on the board. Their first 6. Mark Harper on the 81-yard pass reception. Stanton delivers the ball, and it's a bomb all the way. There's Harper, and he gets away from 2 defenders there, loses a shoe, blows a tire, in other words, and gets it on into the end zone anyway. Great play by the Colts.
Comstock will call a timeout as they step up to the line of scrimmage, and I think aren't sure they had enough players, so the gentleman in baby blue will talk things over with their head football coach, Bruce Bendix. Big plays, the order of the day. Three Rivers touchdowns, 73 and 78 yards. Comstock's 81. They're getting bigger, each and every one. We haven't got that much room left.
Well, it looks like a high-scoring game tonight as we're getting the lightning as we've been describing it. The first offensive play of the ball game, ending up in a 73-yard touchdown, then an interception. Defensive player Tom Losay catches one, goes 78 yards with it, and now Mark Harper pulls in the Troy Stanton pass, and he goes for 81 yards. Whew, that's a lot of yards, Mark.
It's going to be interesting maybe, huh? We've seen a lot of points this year. In fact, the average this year on Friday Night Football here has been better than 40 points per game. Last year, just under 30. I don't know if there's any real trend there, or if it's just luck on our part.
It's not the three-point play this time. We used to talk about that in basketball, but we're getting more points. You're right, averaging 40 a game. That's a lot of points. That's not my kind of football, by the way.
Well, John Shute tells us that Troy Stanton, the quarterback at Comstock, now 5 of 6 on the night, 115 yards and a touchdown. Extra point attempt, Ted McGovern is on. Sends it up through the 2 metal pipes. And we got a 1-touchdown ball game just like that at 14-7. And we played only 42 seconds of the second quarter. So quarter number 1 belonged to Three Rivers. Perhaps quarter number 2 will go to Comstock's corner.
Well, Three Rivers really, after the initial play of the ball game, have not moved the ball that well offensively, Mark. They're going to have to get themselves going here. The defense by Comstock has done an excellent job of stopping the Three Rivers offense. Remember, their first play, a big gainer, that one's 73 yards. First time they had the ball, first offensive play. Since then, not an offensive production out of those Wildcats.
Colts will boot it away. Ted McGovern working on the tee, and he'll send it down toward Greg Booth, number 24. You get a good look at him, 5'8", 165-pound senior. Ran for 960 yards last year, and with his ball game so far tonight, he is up across 900 yards now this year already. McGovern having to look at Booth and Sam Brown deep. I might squib the ball. He'll send it towards Sam Brown, back inside his 10-yard line. Brown spins away from one tackler, still on his feet, and corralled and wrestled out of bounds at about the 35. And it'll be 1st and 10 for Three Rivers right there. Greg Booth, Sam Brown, dangerous pair back there.
Boy, they are fun to watch. Now that the Comstock Colts are on the board, their fans here in front of us getting a little more rambunctious. There you see Brown with the ball. He hasn't even turned the jets on there yet, Mark. Now he's beginning to pick him up and lay him down. And, boy, had there been just a little more of an opening, you'd have seen him accelerate and explode right out of there.
His old friend Mark Harper makes the stop for Comstock. Wildcats with the football. They lead 14-7. Boy, Greg Booth was a step away from another touchdown.
Well, he was. He was through the line of scrimmage and into the defensive backs with people kind of hanging at his ankles. And you're right, Mark, that he had one more inch, he'd have been gone again.
Stopped by number 11, Trevor Morford, and he was the last baby blue jersey. Gain of about 5 on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 5 now for Three Rivers. Good look at Ryan Cottingham, the junior quarterback there. The big paw on his helmet. There's Booth again in the secondary across midfield and down to the 45 of Comstock. Gain on the play of near 15. It'll be 1st and 10.
Greg Booth only goes about 165 pounds, Mark, but he ran right through 2 arm tackles that time for that gain. And he's got some power there with that small frame of his.
Tell you what, at this pace, Greg Booth is going to get to 1,000 yards here tonight. He needs 225, and he is well on his way to that. 1st and 10, Three Rivers. Booth again. Has 8 or 9 yards, down to about the 36-yard line of Comstock. It'll be 2nd down and short.
I think this is by far the best offensive sustained drive that the Wildcats have put on, Mark. They're really moving the ball significantly and doing it right through the middle. Obviously, that first offensive play of theirs was a dandy, but I'm talking about a number of plays in a row here.
Well, the key for Comstock in stopping Three Rivers when the Wildcats have the football has been to shoot somebody up a gap and catch a running back in the backfield. Last few plays, it's not worked. Cottingham wants to throw, sends it wide. Sam Brown knocked down to his knees as he tries to make a break. Play made over there by number 21, Brian Culver.
And a very typical play as far as the offense is concerned for the Wildcats. They like to run the ball right at you and suck you in a little bit, and then they'll hit you with that big play, as you call it, Mark, and try to hit you with the pass.
1st down 10 for the Wildcats of Three Rivers. Football inside the 35 of Comstock. There's Booth. And Booth fights inside the 30. Gain of 4, maybe 5 yards. Well, I'm surprised you haven't gotten on me yet in this football game about any kind of partiality.
Well, you know, I've been waiting to bring that up, but you're an old Comstock man here, right? Born in Comstock.
Born in Comstock and spent a good 18 months of my life here.
I kind of thought you had some Colt blood in you. You know that?
2nd down. Long 6 facing Three Rivers. Booth once again. And he'll only find a couple. In that time on the stop, Terrence Jackson, number 32, who's played a good football game both ways for Comstock. And a reminder, at the end of this ball game, as we do after each and every one of our games here on Friday Night Sports, we will name our Old Kent MVPs, the 2 players who we feel have made the most significant contribution to their team's success. Our Old Kent MVPs will be announced after this ball game. 3rd down 5 for Three Rivers. Probably in 4-down territory. We're inside the 30 of Comstock. Booth doesn't have the 1st down. Hit at the line of scrimmage, falls forward for a couple. Tom Canagater makes the stop for Comstock. It'll be 4th down and still looks like maybe 3.
And all of a sudden, the Colts have stiffened defensively. Done a good job in that inside.
I tell you, I'm impressed with Bruce Bendix and his Comstock Colts. They have done a nice job against what is truly one of the finest Class B football teams in the state of Michigan, the Wildcats of Three Rivers. Keeper by quarterback Cottingham. And he would appear to have the 1st down. Good play and a 1st time. Ran behind Terry Dock, his 5'10", 195-pound junior center.
Well, nothing fancy about this one. That's just power football. This time it's Ryan Cottingham taking 1 step back and then following that big offensive line that he's got up there. Phil Hall, Terry Dopp, Aaron Cullifer, right straight ahead, enough for the 1st down.
7 minutes, 28 seconds still to play. 1st half, clock is stopped as the 2 teams will talk with their respective coaches. At halftime, our TV 41 Battle Creek Inquirer scoreboard, with thanks to the Grand Rapids Press and Kalamazoo Gazette, the most complete high school football scoreboard in West Michigan. Tom Taube will have highlights from Portage Central and Battle Creek Central. Boy, a big ball game in the Big 8 tonight down at CW Post.
Well, that should be a dandy down there. The Bearcats coming off a heartbreaking loss at St. Joe. Have to regroup a little bit against Portage Central.
Speaking of dandies, I know you'll be heading over to Ann Arbor tomorrow morning to see your Wolverines take on my Spartans, the big intra-state rivalry.
Yeah, a little revenge for us Wolverine fans, I hope, tomorrow. That should be a great ball game also, Mark. Those two teams will hit each other, I know that.
Don't count your points too early, Chief.
Right, neither one of them, I think, are outstanding teams this year, but they'll sure go after each other.
Somebody lines up in the neutral zone, I think, and I believe it's going to be number 81, Tom Canagator for Comstock. Let's see if they don't mark 5 against the Colts. In high school football, the moment you line up or step into the neutral zone, the flag is thrown and the play stops. There is no jumping off sides and getting back. There is no lining up off sides and shuffling back onto your side of the field. The moment you encroach into that neutral zone, you pick up the 5-yard penalty. It is 5 against Comstock. 1st and 5 now for Three Rivers. Booth. Slippery gentleman.
Boy, he's
jumps
quick.
over the pile, gets down inside the 15 to about the 13, near the first down sticks. That time the stop by Jason Dalton, number 51.
Tell me up here in the booth, Mark, that Dalton is quite a rustler beside. We've already talked about him. He's 5'6" and 145 pounds, and I believe they told me he was number 3 in the state in wrestling.
I believe he's beefed up, too. I think he wrestled down around 129 or something last year. Back to throw Cottingham. Does a nice job of rolling. Gets the football in the hands of Chad Coney, number 87. They'll have the first down yardage, and it looks like it'll be 1st and goal somewhere down near the 2-yard line.
Looks about the 1 or 2 in that area, right. Cottingham that time running for his life back there, but able to spot his receiver.
Well, let's give some credit to Three Rivers for a nice sustained football drive here after the Comstock Colts tacked 7 up on the board with a big play.
Well, exactly what I was talking about when they did take over, that they had not done this, and they had the big play to get their 14 points on the board, but really had not controlled the ball, which is their style of football. This drive certainly an indication of ball control.
1st and goal. Booth just gets behind the big guys and fights toward the end zone. Have not seen any indication that he gets in. And I believe they're going to mark Greg Booth just short.
A little bit short, right. I can't tell for sure where it is, but it's got to be close,
Boy,
Mark.
it can't be much more than a foot away. It'll be 2nd down goal. Cottingham wants to do it himself and falls into the end zone. The 1-yard quarterback sneak by Ryan Cottingham. And this one's now Three Rivers 20, Comstock 7. Good drive for the Wildcats.
Well, once again, not real fancy, but Ryan Cottingham taking advantage of those big guys up there in front of him. Terry Dopp and Phil Hall and Aaron Cullifer doing an excellent job of just getting off the ball, making enough room so that Cottingham can score the 6 points on the quarterback sneak.
Look down the line of scrimmage as they try the extra point here. Norton will boot it. Low and away. Nice job. Frank Velasquez, number 6 on the hold, as that snap was very high, and Velasquez with the sticky hands managed to get it down, but the extra point is missed, and Three Rivers is out front 20-7.
Well, just a little break on the timing is what can screw up one of those extra points. There you see the playing drive that the Wildcats have just put on offensively. 5:17 on the drive, 8 plays, 64 yards, put the big 6 points on the board.
Very impressive. There are some of the fans here from Comstock. It's a little chilly out here tonight, but they're having fun anyway.
It's a perfect night for football, Mark. You're under the weather a little bit tonight, I know.
Well, I'm under the weather a lot tonight.
Feel the coolness a little bit more than I do. I'm actually very comfortable right
Have
now.
you ever seen me do a football game sitting down before?
No, I have not, as a matter of fact.
This is a first for me.
Jackson, in deep positions.
Norton will boot it away for Three Rivers. 6:05 still to play, first half. Wildcats on top 20-7. Been a big play day for both clubs. Davidson will return from his own 15, finds a little seam, and Davidson is out near the 40-yard line. Good return. And it'll be 1st and 10 for Comstock. Great field position. Mark it out at their own 37.
Well, we've had some big plays, Mark, and we've also had some opportunities for some more that have been just a step or so away. And that kickoff return, another one of those right there. Steve Davidson saw a little opening and tried to squeeze through it. Just brought down at the last instant.
John Lee, the Comstock center, up over the football. Troy Stanton now, the quarterback, behind him. Gives to the dive back.
And that's the first phase of that Houston veer that the Colts like to run. That's the fullback right up over the guard. Quarterback can give it to that man and pull it back out if he wants, and then attack the end himself. And after that, he has a pitch man to use if he elects to do that.
Gain of about 2 for Terrence Jackson. It'll be 2nd down and 8. Colts would like to put together a nice drive and score another touchdown, I'm sure. Dive back this time. I think it's Culver. The line of scrimmage and nothing more. Whole host of white jerseys down there. I saw number 87, Chad Coney. And number 60, Troy Best. Both in the area. We'll give him a gain of maybe a yard. It'll be 3rd down and 7.
Well, a big play here now as the Colts have fallen behind by 2 touchdowns once again, and they need to keep their offense on the field. They need to keep their morale up a little bit, their momentum up a little bit. They need a big play here.
Troy Stanton to throw. Has the protection and flicks it out there toward Rob Mason, but Mason actually loses yardage as he has to go down to catch the football, and it'll be 4th down and long.
Well, Troy Stanton delivered the ball awfully hard that time, and the receiver had to come back for the ball and dive to catch it. And as you said, Mark, he was not able to keep his feet, caught the ball, but ended up actually losing yardage on the play.
Still 4 minutes to play first half, and Comstock will have to boot it back to a powerful Three Rivers ball club. Mark Harper stands at his own 25. Has punted once tonight, and he got off a dandy. And there's another one. Fair catch. And Brown loses it, watches it bounce around, and manages to fall on the football. Is that a cool customer or what?
That is, because that ball, once he had touched it, was up for grabs, Mark. Anybody could have had that one. And he was able to just kind of settle down underneath it and nonchalantly pull it down and fall on it. Boy, you said it. What a cool guy.
Well, I'd be reaching up trying to grab that football, and Sam Brown with baby blue jerseys closing in on him just waited for it to come down to him. Going to be 1st and 10 for Three Rivers. Football at their own 18-yard line. With 3:33 and counting still to play in our first half. 20-7, Three Rivers on top. Cottingham with the I formation behind him. There's Booth, and Booth is gone. I don't think anyone's going to catch Greg Booth. Giving pretty good chase is Mark Harper, number 84, but he can't catch up to him. It is 83 yards for a touchdown, Greg Booth.
Well, Greg Booth, once again, the 5'8", 165-pounder, and he pops it right up the middle. Very similar to what he did on the first offensive play of this ball game. As he hits up in the middle there and gets by the linebackers, there he goes. You can see him sneak right through, got a little contact. Now it's a foot race. And as you said, Mark Harper, closed up some ground on him, made a diving shot at his legs, couldn't make it, but the 4.640 speed of Greg Booth able to take him on into the end zone. He gets his second 6 points of the night.
Well, lightning strikes again, and Norton on now to try the PAT. Kick is up and is good. 3:13 still to play first half. And our score now 27-7. Three Rivers out front. Clifford and Bill Brandell back with you at Cole Field in Comstock. 27-7 is our score. Three Rivers on top. And let's do some quick addition. And Greg Booth is now over 1,000 yards for the season. He needed 225 coming in to get to 1,000. He has 234 yards in 16 carries. And he may make our choice for Old Kent MVP from Three Rivers easy.
Well, he is sure looked impressive.
Colts come the other way. Davidson is out across the 30 with it. It'll be 1st and 10 with 3:05 to play. Comstock's got to make something happen. They trail 27-7.
Well, as I said last time they had the ball, Mark, they can't lose their momentum and lose their confidence, and they are starting to show signs of doing that. They need to do something here offensively. They have about 3 minutes in order to do that, and it would sure help if they could get on the scoreboard once again. They've got some lightning of their own. Don't forget that pass that they threw, an excellent play from Stanton to Mark Harper. That could hit any time in this ball game.
Here we go, 1st and 10 for Comstock. Three Rivers stacking it up at the line of scrimmage. Going to be a little reverse to Mark Harper, and Harper isn't going anywhere. Sam Brown came up, made a nice play, and it'll be a loss of 2 or 3 yards. A little razzle-dazzle for Comstock.
Well, I think you try to get your one of your best players with his hands on the ball as often as you can. This time it's the reverse play to Mark Harper, as you can see him coming around from a flanker or a wingback position over there, and no going as Sam Brown stayed at home and was able to make the tackle for actually about a 2-yard loss.
2nd down 12 for Comstock. Option right side. This is Davidson. Davidson has a little running room out across the 35. And I think it'll be about 3rd down and 5. You and I have done probably somewhere near 100 football games, I would think, together, and I doubt we have ever seen in one game 4 70-plus yard plays.
Well, that is a bundle. It's exciting for the fans, that's for sure. It comes so quick, so much fun to watch it executed properly. Some of those have been great plays like that, Mark. Those weren't flukes. Those were just well-executed plays.
3rd down 5 for Comstock. They need a first. Minute 20 still to play. Stanton to throw. Over the middle, incomplete. Trying to find Mark Harper. Stuck out a big paw but couldn't gather it in. It'll be 4th down. Clock is stopped with the incomplete pass at 1:15. Well, we have the 5 touchdowns in the game. We have the little 1-yard quarterback sneak by Ryan Cottingham, and the other 4, 73, 78, 81, and 83 yards. Some big total offense numbers being rolled up. And as mentioned, Greg Booth already across 230 yards for the game. Mark Harper stands in punt formation back near his own 20. And you can almost see the Comstock Colts with their hands on their hips a little bit and their daubers down. They trail 27-7. Good pickup by Harper and another nice punt. Bounces at about the 39-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 now for Three Rivers. 1:09 still to play, first half. And the Wildcats don't have to attempt the big play, Bill Brandell, to get the big play. The simple handoffs to Greg Booth are dangerous enough, and you would think that's probably what Three Rivers will do here, try and get the football in Greg Booth's hands some more.
Well, they've got that stunting defense they're going against by the Colts, and if the Colts guess wrong and Booth pops through that line, he's off to the races.
There goes
Booth. He's done it twice.
Short side, and he's got maybe 6 yards out near the 45. It'll be 2nd down and 4. Clock shows less than a minute still to play here in the first half. Our score is 27-7. Three Rivers on top in one of the wildest first halves of football we've seen in a long time.
That is for sure. Boy, Mark Harper out there for the Colts has got to be a tired man, Mark, as he's been all over the field. He's playing both ways, does the punting. He is doing a super job. There he picks one off just as I'm talking about it.
Cottingham sees it intercepted by Harper, takes it down the sidelines inside the 25, and Comstock's in business with 29 seconds. Still to play first half, so some hope for the Colts.
Well, that's a picker-upper, as we say. They needed a spark like that to get themselves, back up again a little bit. Mark Harper comes from his safety position. There's the ball being delivered by Cottingham, and Harper just comes across from his safety position, and he's down the sidelines and knocked out of bounds, and ball's on about the 25-yard line.
Good play by Harper. Otherwise, it's 6 points for Three Rivers. The receiver was beyond all of the defensive backs for Comstock. The blitz is coming, and Three Rivers' Tom Losey with the big sack. Loss of 10 with 18 seconds. Still to play first half. Clock is stopped as the officials say Comstock has called a timeout. It'll be second down about 20. Football back now at about the 32. Boy, Losey gives him no time.
Well, Troy Stanton, not much of a chance. Right there you can see it. Stanton just begins to turn around, and Mr. Losey is saying, "Howdy, how are you?" And down he goes. And, of course, Three Rivers expecting the pass, Mark, with only 18, 20-some seconds here when that play started to, get the ball in the end zone. So they're just laying their ears back and sending those linebackers.
Losey is having a good ball game for Three Rivers. He had the 78-yard interception return for a touchdown earlier. Adds a big sack here late in the first half. We've seen some impressive performances, and we've got a lot of good athletes out here on the field tonight.
Well, I think I read, too, in the coverage of the Three Rivers games that Losey had another, I think, a fumble situation where he scored a touchdown.
There is a look up toward us. We are on the right. Bill Brandell standing and waving, and I'm hiding down next to you here, sitting and conserving my energy. Second down, 18, facing Comstock. More importantly, just 18 seconds left, first half. Fired out in the flats, Mark Harper. Spins away from one, needs to get out of bounds, and does. Nice individual effort by Harper. Gets out of bounds at about the 22-yard line. Gain of 10 on the play. It'll be third down. 10 ticks remaining on the scoreboard clock here in the first half. Mark Harper's having a nice ball game.
Well, as I just was mentioning, he's going both ways and doing the punting, and he's been doing a good job both ways. He's not resting in one situation so he can do something else. He's playing hard. Nice play there, but after that first play on this drive, Mark, for the loss, still about third down and 8 yards to go.
More importantly, just 10 seconds left on the clock, so they'd better air it out and head it down to the end zone. Troy Stanton, the blitz is coming. Fires it toward Harper. Fight in the end zone, incomplete. Boy, Harper had his hands on it for a moment. Well, 5 seconds left. They'll have one more chance.
Once again, he's doing a jump ball situation with his buddy Sam Brown down there in the end zone. And Sam had a little help, but Mark Harper, of course, is 6'1". Sam Brown is how tall, Mark?
5'10".
About 5'10", so a little advantage there for Mark Harper.
I tell you, I believe that Sam Brown is probably not all of 5'10", and Mark Harper is probably more than 6'1". Looking at the two of them out there. Here we go. It's fourth down for Comstock. More importantly, 5 seconds, all that remains in this first half. Last play, they'll fire it over the middle. Harper gathers it in. He's inside the 15. But the clock expires. Has the first down yardage, but the clock expires. They'll head to the locker rooms. 27-7 our score. Three Rivers on top. Tom Tauby will be along next with our TV 41 Battle Creek Inquirer scoreboard, our feature game Portage Central, and BCC more fireworks. Keep it here.
Don't bring everybody down. Don't worry. It will soon pass, whatever it is.
Hi, we're the cheerleaders from Three Rivers, welcoming you back to the second half. Good luck, Wildcats!
And our thanks to Tom Tauby for our halftime scoreboard, and the Three Rivers Wildcat cheerleaders for getting us set. Third quarter action is upcoming. 27-7 is our score. Three Rivers out front by 20 over Comstock, the home club. And Bill Brandell, there are your halftime stats.
Well, we can see by total yardage that obviously Three Rivers has the best of it, but most of those yardage coming by the way of big plays. We've seen just some excellent running by Greg Booth. He's got over 230 yards so far tonight. So you can see the total yardage there at 276 and chalk up 230 of it at least to one guy. So it's coming by way of the running game, and what a mighty impressive young man he is.
Another critical up there in those stats, the 2 turnovers against Comstock.
Well, the one in particular, the 78-yard pass interception, a 6-pointer right off the bat by Tom Losey, as he picked off the pass and just went on a streak to the end zone, and that's a turnover, but also an immediate 6 points against you. So that is a big one. The turnover's a key there. The first turnover by way of the errant pitch on the option play, and the Colts were moving the ball at that time. So that was a big one too, Mark. I have to say that is an important statistic in those that we see there.
Been a wild game, 27-7. Three Rivers is out top. We've had 5 touchdowns. One of them by Three Rivers was just a 1-yard quarterback sneak following a nice long drive. The other 4 touchdowns, all 70-plus yards.
Well, been a while since we've seen anything like that. It's been very exciting, and for people that like a lot of offense and a lot of exciting runs, they've sure seen them tonight.
Terrence Jackson is the deep man, standing at his own 10. This one will bounce and instead come to Steve Davidson. And Davidson spins away from one tackle, is out near the 35. Good field position again for the Colts. 1st and 10 at their own 35 as we start half number 2. William 27-7. I doubt Bruce Bendix and Comstock ready to give up.
Well, certainly they are not, and we've already mentioned that they have some lightning of their own that they can go to. We saw it in the first half with the pass to Mark Harper for around 80 yards, and they can do that at any time here. They're an excellent passer in Troy Stanton, so I'm sure they're not done.
Stanton runs the option, pitches right side Davidson, and Davidson has some running room. Out across midfield and down to the 47 of Three Rivers. Gain on the play of 17, maybe 18 yards.
Well, Steve Davidson has been really impressive himself tonight, Mark. At 5'8" and 160 pounds, he takes the pitch here, turns the corner, and comes back to the inside and makes some good yardage. He's been just a step away from breaking loose a couple of different times.
It'll be 1st and 10 for Comstock. Draw play to Jackson, and Jackson has a little running room. He's inside the 30, down to the 27. Gain of about 20 more. It'll be 1st and 10 Comstock down at the 28-yard line of Three Rivers.
Well, Terrence Jackson takes a load off of Steve Davidson's back as he adds to the offense for the Colts. Jackson that time popping through the middle. He's 6 foot and 185 pounds and ran with some power that time and some speed.
Terrence Jackson rushed for 200-plus yards in Game 1 against Hackett, then promptly hurt his ankle. First drive of the next. There's Jackson driven out of bounds inside the 20, and that ankle looks like it's strong, and he's ready to play.
Well, I'm sure he's anxious to get back in there. I think he was in a little bit last week, but he seems to be at full strength right now. And when he's the pitch man on that Houston Beer option, and he's got a little bit of running room out there on the sidelines, he is dangerous and fun to watch.
27-7, Three Rivers is out front, but with the big plays we've had tonight, this one is far from over. Troy Stanton has the pro set behind him. Will throw, incomplete. In the hands of Ted McGovern, number 82, and he just couldn't hang on. A little too much steam on the pass.
Well, we've seen Troy Stanton just throw the ball in an excellent fashion tonight. That one just a little bit too much speed as he had number 82, Ted McGovern, coming across the middle. The Three Rivers defense kind of sucking up in a little bit, looking for the running play. And McGovern just a step or two away from the end zone if he'd have been able to hang on to that one.
3 first downs on this initial drive of the second half for Comstock. 2nd down 10 here. Stanton wants to throw. Incomplete. Bouncing up toward number 80, Rob Mason. It'll be 3rd down and 10.
That's one of the few times tonight that Troy Stanton has not been on the money with his passes. That one thrown down into the ground, and he has just been excellent tonight.
What do we have for Stanton's totals first half? Something like 7 of 10 for 140-some yards.
I've lost that somewhere.
3rd down 10, Comstock. Option pitches Davidson, and Davidson is struck in the backfield. Good play defensively by Chip Wise, wearing our favorite number 41.
Well, that time the pitch man covered very well by Wise, as that's the job of somebody, obviously, and depending on the assignment of the defense and which particular stunt situation you're in, that's going to determine who has that man. But the first couple of times that the Colts ran that option play in this second half, the pitch man has been wide open. That time covered up very well.
4th down 9, and it's 4-down territory for Comstock. The football is down at the 15-yard line of Three Rivers. Stanton fires it toward the end zone, batted away by Sam Brown. Boy, great athletic play by Sam Brown. I thought for a moment he might have jumped too soon.
Well, it looked like he might have, and of course, standing right behind him and waiting for the ball was Mark Harper. This time, Sam Brown able to jump up, and you'll see him here. And he'll leap as high as he can and just get his hand on the ball. And Mark Harper in the blue shirt waiting right there for him had he not been able to tip it away.
So on downs, the football will go over to Three Rivers. Wildcats will start 1st and 10 at their own 16. Ryan Cottingham is still your quarterback, and Booth carries into the center of the line. And he is stopped for no gain. Well, they'll give him credit for maybe a yard now of forward progress. It'll be 2nd down and 9. 5'8", 165-pound senior Greg Booth. He's been the offense tonight. 16 carries, 235 yards, couple of touchdowns. All that in the first half.
And he is exciting.
Booth again. He's stuck in the backfield.
What a great hit that time. Not sure. I think it was number 50, John Lee, on the tackle.
52 is the word we're getting now.
I could see a 5. I wasn't sure, but somebody got a good smack in there.
Barry Dopp, the announcer, says Kyle Walker, number 52 on the stop. 5'9", 170-pound junior. It'll be 3rd down 10 for Three Rivers. Sam Brown drawing double coverage down to the close side of your screen. Fumble on the exchange from center. And I think Three Rivers retains possession, but it'll be 4th and punt for the Wildcats.
Well, one of the few miscues tonight by the Wildcats from Three Rivers. See a little mishandling of the center snap. We haven't seen any mistakes at all from that team other than maybe an offside penalty once. There you see the ball laying on the ground, and quarterback Ryan Cottingham able to jump back on it.
Back in punt formation is Wise. Short kick. Will take a couple of hops and be fielded back at midfield, and nowhere to go at all for number 11, Trevor Morford. He's knocked down right there at the 48. On the stop, among others, Mike Spence. It'll be 1st and 10 Comstock. Football just in their own half of the field. 8:30 still to play 3rd quarter. Three Rivers on top 27-7. Again next Friday, KVA contest. And another great Class B football power for you as Paw Paw hosts Mattawan.
We have had some dandy Class B teams on our football coverage this year, Mark. What a powerhouse this side of the state is in Class B.
Well, I guess so. Troy Stanton, very long count. Folks jump on the Three Rivers side, but don't step into the neutral zone. And the pitch is delivered to Davidson for maybe a yard's gain. He was tripped up again by number 41, Chip Wise. After next Friday's Mattawan Pawpaw game, we have St. Joe at Portage Central on the 21st. And then on the 28th, we've left that date open for now to be announced. And we'll find a couple of ball clubs fighting for playoff spots somewhere.
Boy, and there's some great possibilities coming up for that last date. Looks like things really shaping up tough.
Second down 9. Pass is complete. Spinning away from a couple of would-be tacklers. Number 80, Rob Mason. The completion, it'll be 1st and 10 for Comstock down at the 35. No quit in the Colts. Bruce Bendix, the 3rd-year head football coach, has them out there and working.
Well, they have been very effective moving the ball. I haven't been able to get it into the end zone quite often enough, but they sure have moved it well.
Well, Stanton tried a little quarterback draw, I guess, and
I'm not sure if there was a mix-up there, Mark.
I'm not sure either. Pat Dane was right there, though, to stop the play before it ever got started.
Right. Play didn't seem to be really get started, and it didn't take off. Troy Stanton really didn't take off like a quarterback sneak, so it might have been a quarterback draw, but the center there, the defensive center for the Wildcats, just very solid, and he went nowhere. In fact, lost a little bit.
Second down as you see 11. Troy Stanton, the senior quarterback, fires it over the middle, incomplete. Too high for the intended receiver, Ted McGovern. It'll be 3rd down and 11.
Well, that's a little timing pattern as Troy Stanton faking the running play that time. They call that an action pass. Try to suck the linebackers in with a fake to the inside man on a dive play and then just stand up and rifle the ball. And that time just did not connect.
Well, you mentioned how tough West Michigan is in the Class B ranks. This past week, 6 of the top 10 teams in the AP poll in Class B are from West Michigan. And if you look in honorable mention, there's half a dozen more from around here. Intercepted. It's Lose again. Down the sideline and down to the 30 with it. Goes Tom Lose, his second interception of the night. And Three Rivers will take over 1st and 10 down at the Comstock 31.
And the third turnover tonight for the Colts. And we'll see Tom Lose again as he'll cut in front of Mark Harper this time, who's on a crossing pattern, and Lose will pick it up, and he juggles it a little bit and then pulls it in, and he's off to the races once again. Going to give the ball back to the Wildcats, and once again in excellent field position as they're on about the Colts 31-yard line.
Lose is wearing those heavy gloves, and he juggled his first interception a while too. 6:15 still to play third quarter from Comstock. You've got 41's Friday Night Football. Very entertaining ball game for you tonight. Three Rivers 27, Comstock 7. In one that's been full of surprises, Ryan Cottingham still has Booth behind him as the deep back. Cottingham wants to keep it. Fumbles the football. And it's Comstock's. Well, we're going to have to see it again to really get a feel for what happened.
I think it was Cannigator that made the initial hit that time on Ryan Cottingham to knock the ball loose. I didn't see who got the ball, but
I think John Lee, number 50, will recover it.
I think Cottingham gets hit right there, and now watch 81. That's
Cannigator with the helmet.
And boom, does he come in there tough.
And we're not going to see it, but number 50, John Lee, will recover the football for Comstock. They'll start 1st and 10, and busted play there. Troy Stanton wheeled for the option play and didn't have a back there and just froze.
Well, must have been a mix-up there. And, of course, the Wildcat defense smarting a little bit here. They're going to try to get another turnover of their own as they got the pass interception and then turned it right back as far as the fumble was concerned. And the Colts get another chance.
Troy Stanton behind center John Lee. Back to throw. That's Mark Harper. And Harper carries it across the 30. Gets back the couple of yards lost on the first down play. It'll be 3rd and still 11 facing Comstock.
Well, Sam Brown and Mark Harper, they could have a real conversation going on today, as I think Sam Brown has been in Mark Harper's pocket every time that Harper splits out in the pass situation.
Both of them having good days. Harper caught 6 balls in the first half, so has 7 on the game now. Has played good defense as well. Draw play, and Jackson will lose a couple back inside the 30. And Three Rivers sniffed that one out. Ludwig, number 51, and Aaron Cullifer, number 61 there. And Cullifer has had a good ball game.
Well, we mentioned his name early a couple of times, especially defensively against that inside running game that the Colts like to start with as far as that option is concerned. And he snuffed it off pretty early.
Mark Harper will punt. The deep back is Sam Brown. Return is on, and this one kind of shags off the side of the foot, will bounce around midfield and be downed right there. And Three Rivers is going to start in very good field position, 1st and 10. Nose of the football just in the Comstock half of the field.
Well, I've noticed on that punt situation, Mark, that Mark Harper is back there and really not getting any pressure at all as far as Three Rivers' defense is concerned. And I'm sure that Coach Bruce Bendix has noticed that himself, and as much of a threat as Mark Harper is when he has the ball in his hand, I wouldn't be surprised to see a fake punt come out of that pretty soon.
Three Rivers comes out. Cottingham is still at quarterback. New tailback is Craig Jackson, number 25, and Jackson carries the football for about 4 yards down to the 45-yard line of Comstock. Jackson looks to be the heir apparent to Greg Booth, 1,000+ yards on the junior varsity last year.
Well, Mark, you and I have talked about this Three Rivers team. There's about 47, 48 players out here. 23 of them are seniors, another 24 juniors, and as you said, just great program because the numbers just keep coming. The back that you're mentioning, an example again of a young man that got an awful lot of time to play, and he'll be ready when it's his turn.
Fumble covered by Cottingham and Jackson. It'll be 3rd down and about 6 facing Three Rivers. Maybe we've seen the last of Greg Booth tonight.
Well, I kind of hope not.
Nope.
He's so much fun to watch that I'd like to see him some more.
Brian Cottingham ran over to the sidelines, and when he came back, he was bringing Greg Booth with him. Went over and said, "Coach, give me that number 24 back." 3rd down, 6. And there he is, hit at the line of scrimmage, fights forward well short of the 1st down, has it to about the 44-yard line of Comstock. Stopped by number 50, John Lee again. It'll be 4th down and punt time for Three Rivers. 2:55, still to play 3rd quarter. Comstock trailing Three Rivers 27-7.
Well, when Greg Booth came back in, I think everybody in this park knew who was going to get the ball on that 3rd and 6 situation. And, of course, the defense was waiting for him that time.
Punt formation, Chip Wise standing at his own 45. Pressure is coming and almost blocked by number 81, Canagator.
Boy,
Fair catch is called back at about the 21-22.
I thought Tom Canagator would block that one as he was in there in plenty of time, and it must have gone right by his arms and his hands because he was there.
We want to remind you, Sunday at noon, This Week in Bronco Sports here on 41. Robin Hook is your host. Al Moldy will be along with him. Western Michigan University down at Miami of Ohio. Saturday, we'll also have a preview of Western Michigan University hockey, all on This Week in Bronco Sports, Sunday at noon here on 41. Stanton fires it over the middle. It's complete. Ted McGovern has it out across the 40. 1st down yardage and then some. 17, 18 yards on the play. Comstock's going to have 300-400 yards in total offense before this one is done. Robin Hook is here at the football game, broadcasting for WKMI, and as soon as this one's over, he'll hop in the car and drive down to Oxford, Ohio, spend what will, I'm sure, be a short night in a motel, and then get up and broadcast the Broncos on KMI tomorrow afternoon.
Well, the Broncos rolling along, Mark. They're racking them up.
Stanton wants to throw again. Timing pattern down the sideline. Intercepted. Nice interception by Frank Velasquez, number 6. Played the football all the way. Nice catch over the shoulder. And on another turnover, the football goes over to Three Rivers.
Well, Troy Stanton kind of throws the alley-oop pass here as he'll take his drop back, and then he just throws it up nice and high, and he's hoping his receiver can run down and get up under the ball. But Frank Velasquez waiting for it down there, and he's able to pull it in, and it's the 4th turnover for the Wildcats.
Three Rivers to Booth. Booth is still on his feet. Dragged down. After about 13 yards across the 45. We were talking at halftime. Booth had 234 yards then. I'm quite certain we've never seen a 300-yard game here on Friday Night Sports.
Well, I sure can't remember one. But he's got a real shot at it here. It's still in the 3rd quarter here. Not a lot of time left, 1:41. But we might see enough of him to get to that 300-yard mark. That would be great.
Well, he's somewhere better than 250, 260 now. With 90 seconds still to play 3rd quarter. Cottingham will pitch it to Booth, and there's nothing that time as number 21, Brian Culver, nails Booth in the backfield. Loss of about 6.
Well, Brian Culver is the right man at the right time as he'll see the pitch man get the ball, and he just buries him right there. That's a great shot from our down cameraman. And boy, oh boy, is that in the right place at the right time.
And that was a textbook tackle with the shoulder right there in the thighs and the arms wrapped around the legs. 2nd down long. Booth Gets back about 5. It'll be 3rd down and 10. Greg Booth, only 165 pounds, but has that good lean, and he's tough to bring down.
Well, that time it was a good example, as it took 3 guys to finally get him down. He was hit, and he got driven sideways, but he kept his feet, took another shot, still kept going. Finally, when the 3rd man got there, he was put to the ground.
Well, they've had a great tradition of running backs at Three Rivers lately. David Passy, the back last year who made our 41 All-Star team. Got Booth now, Craig Jackson waiting in the wings. Sam Brown's in motion here, and Brown's going to run. Sam Brown driven out of bounds in front of his own bench, short of the 1st down. It'll be 4th, and Three Rivers going to have to punt. They do move the football down into Comstock territory. It'll be marked at about the 45, maybe 46.
Well, Sam Brown with some excellent speed himself. That's really nice to have a pair of backs with that kind of quickness and speed. Booth on one side, Brown on the other. Brown doesn't carry the ball quite as much, obviously, as Greg Booth does, but when Brown has it, he certainly is a threat.
Brown has 8 touchdowns this year and has not played in a single game where he has not scored a touchdown. But in this ball game, Sam Brown doesn't have one yet. Has run a 9.800, and that is the school record at Three Rivers. A couple of players are down. Brown is limping around, as you saw, and down on the field, one of the Comstock Colts. So we'll have a little stoppage in action. Didn't mention early on, but on Friday Night Sports, Comstock has appeared 6 times, 3 wins and 3 defeats. Three Rivers, 2-1. And it would appear right now that the Colts were going sub-500 now on 41, and Three Rivers will be 3-1 when the night's over.
Well, Three Rivers continues their excellent record. 6-0 this year, and 2 undefeated seasons in a row as far as the regular season games are concerned. 2 9-0 seasons. You know, Mark, most coaches just dream of having one of those, but to have 9-0 back-to-back, that is really something. And of course, this could be 6-0 now in this season.
Next Friday night, we will be at Paw Paw. Mattawan at Paw Paw, KVA ball game. Following Friday, the 21st, St. Joe at Portage Central. Big ball game in the Big 8. Couple of clubs that are ranked in the state. And then the last week, the 28th, we've kept open to be announced. Ball is back to normal on 4th and 3. Three Rivers will punt. As you see, 6 ticks remain on the clock here. 3rd quarter. Chip Wise is standing back near his own 40. And let's see if the Colts are coming. Last time, Canagator got very close.
Well, the last time that Three Rivers punted, Mark, when the Colts lined up, you could pretty well tell that they were on their way to block the punt.
Well, the clock expired, and so 3 quarters have come and gone here on 41's Friday Night Football. Three Rivers still out front by 20. It's near his 40. It's off kind of a spinner, fielded back there by number 21, Culver, and Culver gets a couple of blocks out across the 35. He'll take it. Good field position again for Comstock. 1st and 10. Mark it at their own 37.
Get your winning ticket out.
I have a feeling our total yardage out here, William, is going to be pretty close before this one's over.
Well, we've already been mentioning that Comstock really has had excellent offense. They've moved the ball very well. They've made some big mistakes, 4 turnovers, obviously the biggest mistakes, and they have not been able to get the ball into the end zone and get those paychecks for that offense that they've been running.
Troy Stanton tries it over left tackle.
A little counter action that time out of that Houston Beer offense.
Steve Davidson on the carry has about 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6. Last year, each of these teams had players on our 41 All-Star team. Charlie Barth and David Hassey from Three Rivers. Arnold Rappa. Boy, he was an impressive lineman for Comstock.
You and I were talking. I'm not sure where he is right now. I'm fairly certain he's playing somewhere, Mark, but I don't know where.
Terrence Jackson has it across the 45-yard line. He'll be a couple of yards short of the first down. It'll be 3rd and perhaps 2, facing Bruce Bendix and the Comstock Colts. With a victory tonight, Three Rivers would go to 5-0 in the Wolverine. And it's going to take some kind of football team to beat these gentlemen.
Well, they are tough. We've seen some excellent teams. Forest Hills Northern.
East Grand Rapids.
East Grand Rapids.
3rd and short. There's the first down. Terrence Jackson has the football out near midfield. This young man's going to be a good running back. 1,250 yards on the JV team last year. Had 200 yards week 1 this year on the varsity for Comstock. Then got hurt. Back tonight and having a good game. 4.7 40 speed and good size at 6 foot 185 pounds.
Well, it's nice to have those people waiting in the wings, isn't it? Sign of a good program again. Lots of depth, a lot of players.
1st and 10. Nose of the football just shy of the 50-yard line. And Davidson will move it from one side of the stripe just to the other, where it'll be 2nd and still about 10. Awful lot of West Michigan teams chasing playoff spots after 5 weeks in the season. In A, Kentwood, Portage Central, Battle Creek Central, all up there. In B, St. Joe, Harper Creek, Pawpaw, Zeeland, Three Rivers, East Grand Rapids, Marshall, West Catholic, all up here. In C, Maple Valley, Parchment, Hartford, Bangor, Union City. And in D, Schoolcraft, Martin, Mendon, Athens, Wyoming, Lee, and Burr Oak. A lot of West Michigan clubs in the hunt. Right side, Davidson. He will be very near first down yardage as he muscles his way down to about the 41-yard line of Three Rivers. And the Colts are moving the football a little again.
Well, they seem to be able to move it between the 20s here with just a lot of speed. Steve Davidson that time taking a quick pitch and getting to the outside, being able to turn the corner, move the ball up close to the first down, be 3rd and about less than 1, I think, Mark.
Stanton on the first part of the option gives off to Jackson. He has first down yardage again, and Comstock very impressively marching it downfield here in the 4th quarter. It's 27-7. Three Rivers on top by 20, but the Colts threatening.
Well, just under 9 minutes left in this one, and the Colts have the ability to strike quick here. They're kind of the same type of offense that Three Rivers runs. They'll try to lull you to sleep a little bit with that running game, and they're effective at it. And then all of a sudden they'll come up and hit you with the bomb. And of course the big target is Mark Harper out there. You got to watch him every second.
Troy Stanton finally has to call a timeout. Went back and talked to his 2 running backs, Terrence Jackson and Steve Davidson, about something. And I'm not sure if he finally decided he just didn't have enough time to get the play off or if there was some confusion or what. But the Colts will call a timeout. Bruce Bendix and his coaching staff will come out and have a chat with their gentlemen. 8:33 still to play, 27-7. Three Rivers is on top. Should say a hello to Tom McWilliams, who I saw here in the crowd tonight, the old WKZO news anchor, or the young WKZO news anchor from years ago. Tom is a big Comstock fan. In fact, runs the PA for Comstock basketball. We've seen him here a couple of times. And John Shute tells us Terrence Jackson now for Comstock, 9 carries, 53 yards. What about our Old Kent MVPs, William? I would think that probably for Three Rivers, it's going to be Greg Booth. Comstock could be Stanton, the quarterback, Jackson, Mark Harper.
Well, for Three Rivers, I think you have to mention Tom Losay also, the 5'10", 170-pound senior. Defensively, 2 interceptions tonight. Returned one, I think, 72 yards for a touchdown. The other one he returned 30 yards, I believe, before he was brought down. A lot of tackles.
Had a sack as well.
Had a sack. Excellent job.
1st and 10 Comstock. Right up the gut of the defense goes Steve Davidson as Stanton fakes the pitch toward Terrence Jackson. Gain inside the 35 to the 33-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and about 6.
9, 10, 30, and 12.
You haven't talked at all tonight about your junior high football team. You were winners again this week.
Yes, we traveled down to Constantine on Wednesday and came away with an 18-0 victory.
Bill Brandel's Lakeview Spartan 8th grade team 2-1. Jackson inside the 30. Depend on the mark. Maybe another Comstock first down.
Stopped in there by Pat Dane and company.
Hard running young man Terrence Jackson, but he would help himself if he ran a little lower, I think.
A little straight up and down, right. Have an injured player from Three Rivers. There you see Jackson, as you said, Mark, and he's kind of high. Now he's back up again. And boom.
Stopped by Pat Dane, is number 45 in the white jersey there. And they are helping number 41, Chip Wise, to his feet for Three Rivers, and he'll run off the field under his own power. 7:55 still to play. You look down the Comstock Colts sideline. They've played a better ball game than 27-7 might indicate.
Well, at our opening remarks, Mark, we mentioned that Comstock's really a better football team than their record, and they have played good football tonight. They had a couple of heartbreaking losses early in this season, and they played good football tonight offensively and defensively. Had 4 turnovers, which of course are going to kill any ball club, and gave up the big play, and you said that would be the key to the game, so you hit that one right on the head, as Three Rivers really has done the job with long runs and intercepted pass returns and so on.
You're ready to concede that one to me?
I think that was a pretty good observation, right? I think you hit it right on the head.
It'll be 3rd down and a foot facing Comstock. The Colts trying to keep possession and march it down into the end zone. Football inside the 30 of Three Rivers. 27-7. Wildcats of Three Rivers are on top. Oh, the look-in pass, incomplete. Tried to find Ted McGovern, 82, and looked like maybe down a little too low near his knees. McGovern couldn't bring it in. It's 4th and a foot. Colts trying to make a big play.
Well, they've used that a number of times tonight, and that's effective, as the Wildcats have got a lot of people up front against that option running attack that the Colts run. And you get a split man out there just a little bit and run him on a little crossing pattern right behind the linebackers. That's effective.
4th down and a foot. And they go to the big guy, Terrence Jackson. He's got the first down. They snapped it before I could say perhaps last gasp time for Comstock. They really have to march it down, get it in the end zone here as the clock becomes an enemy. 7:45 still to play.
Well, I think you're right. The clock really as big an enemy right now as Three Rivers, as they need to score a number of times here, and they got to do it quick.
They need 3 touchdowns. They are 25 yards away from the first. Pitch is loose. And falling on the football is Steve Davidson. Smart play by Davidson, just covering up the football, not trying to pick it up and run.
Well, Troy Stanton turns and has been doing this pitch all night. Most of the time it's been right on the money. This one right through the arms there of Steve Davidson. The pitch was up a little high and on his shoulder pads. And Mark, as you mentioned, he's going to just try to cover the ball up here rather than try to pick it up and run. That's a mistake to try to pick it up. You need to just take your loss right there and keep the football.
Keeper by Stanton. I'm not sure if he intended to or not. Lost his footing. Gets back maybe a yard to the 30. It's 3rd down and long. 3rd and about 14 facing Comstock. I was about to say I've been in the position Steve Davidson was in there chasing a bouncing football on the turf with a bunch of big guys from the other team bearing down on you. And there are very few worse feelings in this world.
Well, and it is a little cold tonight, and the grass, of course, by this time, a little bit damp and wet, and the ball gets slippery, and if you're threatened with some footsteps coming at you and you're trying to pick up that greasy pigskin, you can get in trouble.
Jackson on the draw. Gets about 10 yards, but it'll still be 4th down and something close to 5 left for the Comstock Colts. 6:05 and counting still to play in this football game. Three Rivers 27, Comstock 7. Been entertaining from the word go. Very first play from scrimmage. 73 yards, a touchdown run by Greg Booth. Wildcats got it back a short while later. 78-yard interception return by Tom Losey. 14-0 at the end of quarter number 1. In period 2, 81 yards go the Colts in a play. Stanton to Harper on the pass. McGovern's extra point was good. It was 14-7. Then two more Three Rivers touchdowns. A 1-yard quarterback sneak by Ryan Cottingham following a long, impressive drive. 20-7, Three Rivers on top. And then the last scoring of this game, 83 yards goes Greg Booth. Norton kicked the extra point. Just before halftime, Three Rivers 27, Comstock 7.
And there you see one of the larger young men in high school football, number 74, Dan Hatfield for the Colts. He's 6'3", 311 pounds.
Standing around him, Jason Dalton, one of the co-captains, who's 5'6", 145.
The Mutt and Jeff show there. Holy cow.
You could put a couple of Daltons into Mr. Hatfield. Fourth down. Call it 6. Seems like a long timeout.
It does. Is this a TV timeout or what?
If so, we forgot to break, didn't we? Well, you haven't made much noise yet about Michigan State and Michigan on Saturday.
Oh, there's no doubts, Mark. It's in the bag this time. I think it'll be a good ball game, but my blue will prevail, and we're going to save a little face and get a little revenge.
I'm not going to argue with you. I think you're right.
Those old mean Sparties that hurt us last year.
4th and 6. Pitch play right side to Terrence Jackson. Turns upfield, has the first down. Nice piece of running by Terrence Jackson, showing patience, waiting for his blocks.
Well, Jackson that time, as you said, Mark, really a nice run because he had to kind of slow down and wait for his blockers. See if we can see that here as he kind of coasts right in here, and we can't see the blockers out in front of him, but he certainly can, and that's what he's looking for. And now he'll turn the corner and just march right up there just enough to get the first down. There you can just see the blue jerseys out in front of him, and that's what he was watching. That's the sign of a good back, not to get there ahead of the blockers. Be patient. Pick your spot.
1st and 10 for Comstock. Dive play, it's Davidson. He's inside the 15, down to about the 12-yard line. Comstock's been down here 3 or 4 times and been turned away each time. The only Comstock touchdown was an 81-yard pass play, Stanton to Harper.
Well, we've mentioned that their offense really has been effective tonight. The only time that it seems to stall is when they get near the goal line, and they've had to give up the ball. They've given it up by way of the turnover and by downs and so on. They just haven't been able to get that last few yards. But
I like the way John Shute, our statistician, thinks. He says Spartans 19, U of M 17. I'm rooting for John.
I'll have to speak to that young man.
Left side, quarterback keeper. Now the pitch to Jackson, and that time maybe Troy Stanton should have just kept it himself.
Well, that was a dangerous move as Troy Stanton got out there quite wide himself before he pitched it, and he was covered. He saw that defensively there were a couple of the Wildcats in front of him. He pitched it back to Jackson, but there were a few more Wildcats waiting for Jackson.
Well, I suppose if I'm Troy Stanton and somebody's got to take a hit, it might as well be Terrence Jackson and not me. Ryan Roberts, number 33, leads 3 Wildcats on the tackle. 3rd down, long 5. There's Jackson running hard inside the 5, and I think we'll have 1st and goal for Comstock.
Nice power run that time by Terrence Jackson. His 185 pounds low to the ground that time. We were criticizing him a little bit for being a little high. Not that time, Mark. He got that shoulder down, got those knees up high, got that body lean, drove it down in there, got the first down, and it is going to be 1st and goal on about the 4-yard line for the Colts.
4:05 still to play. Comstock would like to punch it in, and then I'm sure try an onside kick. They trail 27-7. They've been patient on this drive. Troy Stanton runs it into the pile, and there is not much there. I see our friend number 41, Chip Wise again. Tom Alose, number 35, was there again. The middle of that Three Rivers defensive line stops them for no gain. 2nd down goal still at the 4.
Very active defense for the Wildcats. Called a number of young men up there for a lot of tackles. They move a lot, have a lot of different sets, a lot of different fronts. They give you fits if you're an offensive lineman.
Stanton, the quick pitch to Jackson. Fights toward the end zone. He's pushed in. One of his offensive blockers just got next to Terrence Jackson, and plain shoved him in the end zone.
Well,
that's illegal, technically.
Right, I was just going to say, we don't want to say that because that's illegal, but good second effort by Jackson as he takes the ball on this pitch sweep, And he'll come up into the line, and he'll be hit by a number of Wildcats, and he does a lot of good driving there, and he gets right to the goal line. Now watch this second effort as he looks like he stopped right there. Here comes a little help, and we're in for the 6 points. Great play by the Colts.
Well, let's give credit to Ted McGovern for the little extra shove. 2-point attempt now for Comstock. It'll be caught by McGovern in the corner, and with 3:15.
Well, obviously the Colts need the ball back, and they really cannot afford to even give it to the Wildcats for 3 plays and a punt. They need to get it right back so that they can score again. So, good thinking, Mark. I think probably you're right. We'll see what they do.
There's Sam Brown, but I doubt seriously Sam Brown's going to see this football, and he won't. Bounces in the middle. It's still up for grabs there, and finally, one of the Wildcats falls down on the football. That one bounced around there kind of temptingly for a while.
Well, that's exactly the way you want to kick the ball in an onside kick situation. You want it to hit the ground early, you want it to bounce, and you want it to, bounce up high and hopefully be handled by one of those guys up front that's not used to handling the ball.
Pat Dane eventually recovers for Three Rivers. It'll be 1st and 10 Wildcats. About the only thing Comstock could have done a little better is they would have liked the football to have stopped after 10 yards instead of 15 or 16. Three Rivers will try and run out the final 3 minutes of this football game. Quarterback keeper that time, and whole pile of folks on the stop. Into the ball game now, John Suber, number 15, at the controls for Three Rivers. Suber getting a little playing time, 5'10", 145 pounds, and a junior. Gains 3 on his first carry. It'll be 2nd down 7. Clock moving, 2.5 left to play. Suber gives it to Craig Jackson, and Jackson has it near midfield. Gang tackle. Looks like number 62, John Heil, leading Comstock's barrage of tacklers. Gain of a couple more. It'll be 3rd down and still almost 4 for Three Rivers. 2 minutes to play, and there's a chance Comstock could force a punt here and get the football back.
Quite a few new faces in there now offensively for Three Rivers, as most of the starters have done their night's work.
Suber gives it off, and boy, that play sniffed out by Dan Hatfield, and he had all 311 pounds going the opposite direction from the Wildcat back, and that was no contest.
Well, I guess when you run into 311 pounds, you're not going to go anywhere. I know I wouldn't go anywhere. We'll see it again here. Boom, there's 311 right there.
Wildcats are going to have to punt it away. Clock still running. Minute 10 now. Wise boots it. Fielded at about the 25 and going down very quickly back there. I think that was 81, Tom Canigite. No, Culver. Ryan Culver on the return. There is a flag.
Well, we've got a little extracurricular going on a blocking situation there. The heat of this battle between these two teams. Great rivalry between these two schools. Excellent football.
Well, they're sorting things out. Discussing the situation with Steve Davidson of Comstock and marching off yards against Three Rivers. 27-15, Wildcats are up by 12, 105 still to play. And Comstock needs a big play. You see personal foul against Three Rivers. They need a big play, an onside kick, and another big play in a game that's been loaded with big plays.
Big plays, right. Maybe we'll see another one before it's over.
Now we have a new quarterback in for Comstock. Number 11 is Trevor Morford. And the Colts, Bruce Bendix, won't go to any kind of aerial circus. He'll just run out the game clock here. Work on the offense. He sends number 31, Jim Ductator, right up the middle. Has maybe a yard or two. It'll be 2nd down and still long. Clock now inside 45 seconds.
Well, Coach Bendig's giving a few people on his bench a chance to play.
First back is Doctator again. And this time a timeout called by Comstock with 23 seconds left. Still runs down to about 20 now. See if they add a few seconds on the clock here. Well, timeout Comstock.
Doctator with a nice run right up the middle on his offensive right side, up over the guard that time. He's 5'7" and 179 pounds and a senior. Picked up about 5 or 6 yards that time.
Hi, Mom.
And I think you're right, Mark. They're going to add 7 seconds, I believe.
A couple of the Colts down on the sidelines, and they gave it a good effort out here. Been a very entertaining football game.
Well, it certainly has been, and as we've already mentioned, if you were a little bit late getting here, you missed one of the big runs of the ball game as opening play for Three Rivers.
3rd and 4 Comstock. Trevor Morford, number 11, is your quarterback. Has Davidson and Doctator behind him.
Let's go! Get on the ball! Let's go! Oh, Benny! Let's go, T!
Option left, that's Davidson. And he bucks forward for maybe a yard. Clock now inside 20 seconds, still running. It's 4th down. And the Colts will try and at least add 1 first down to their total. Oh, almost the hat trick over there for number 35, Tom Losay. Clock is stopped on the incomplete pass with 3 seconds left. And Three Rivers may have to run one play before this one's over. Well, after a wild first half, 34 points scored in the first half, we've only seen 8 in the second half.
Well, things settled down here a little bit as the Three Rivers offense spent most of the second half, Mark, over on the sidelines. Comstock really monopolizing possession time as far as the second half is concerned.
I don't know if Three Rivers only had 8 or 9 players out there or if they wanted to send in a whole wave of fresh jerseys or what, but the Wildcats are forced to call a timeout here with 3 seconds left. They will win this football game, be 6-0 on the season, 5-0 in the Wolverines. Certainly will not have hurt their number 6 rating in Class B. And the Colts of Comstock now will be one of the best 2-win, 4-loss teams you're going to find anywhere. Here we go. Should be the last play of the football game. Three Rivers runs sweep to Jackson, and he'll pick up 3 or 4. This one's in the books. Final score, Three Rivers rides the big plays to a 27-15 victory over Comstock.
Tonight, the Comstock Colts, it was Mark Harper as our MVP, had 7 receptions tonight for 128 yards. He had an 82-yarder for a TD in that group of statistics right there. He had an interception tonight. He punted the ball. He played defense all night long. He was an all-around player. For Three Rivers, our winners tonight, Greg Booth, 21 carries, 260 yards. Markey started the ball game on the first play with a 73-yard scamper and just kept going from there. What a back he is.
All right, next Friday night we'll have a KVA contest, Matawan and Pawpaw, another great Class B football team in Pawpaw.
And once again, a great rivalry, 2 great teams, and we should be treated to another bunch of fireworks as far as offense is concerned.
All right, our final score again here, Three Rivers 27, Comstock 15. 41's Friday Night Football is brought to you in part by Old Kent Bank, common sense, uncommon service. And by Fox's Jewelry Stores, your direct diamond importer. And by the Shoring Insurance Agency for all your insurance needs. And also by the Sports Injury Rehabilitation Network. Now the best team in sports medicine plays right here at home. For Bill Brandell, I'm Mark Crawford. Thanks for joining us. See you next Friday night.